Hey everybody. Somebody said that this is like dance hands or jazz hands or something. I don't know why I do this. I don't know where I picked it up. Hey Royal Blue, how are you? Hey Fred, Freddie, Queen, Tangi, Derek. Oh guys, good to see you. Girls on the Rise, thank you for joining. I realize it is kind of early on a Sunday, so I'm sure a lot of people are at church. So I'm glad to see so many people on. Happy Sunday. I actually have a really busy Sunday today. Somebody asked me the other day, they were like, do you work all the time? And I'm like, yeah, I usually do work every single day. Hey, Girls on the Rise. Hey, Hisham, how are you? Good to see you. If you guys could take a minute to share the broadcast, that would be great. Hey, Steve, good to see you. I would appreciate it, and I always appreciate the hearts and the thumbs up and the love and all that kind of stuff. Today we are talking about how to write. Hey, Lolo, how are you? Today we're talking about how to write. Hey, T, I'm sorry. I saw the K and I put it in front of your name. Hey, T, happy Sunday. Hey, Fernando, good to see you. Today we're talking about exactly how to put together your media pitch for your book if you're an author. Hey Kenny, good morning. But I didn't realize like how busy my Sunday was today. It's like, you know, I have an assistant and a calendar scheduler, and you know, most of the times my assistant will send me an email and say, this is what your day looks like. And well, she didn't do that this week. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Tony. Hey, Berry Flowers Boys. I was just getting ready to talk about you. But she didn't do that. And so I didn't realize that, you know, today was so packed. So I have, in an hour, I'm doing an accelerated session with an author who is looking to put together their marketing and media plan for the launch of their book. And that's 3 hours. That's like an intense, you know, put your head down, get the work done, and get the plan, you know, knocked out. And then Mary, who is my best friend, and also we write a lot together, she's coming over and we're having a writing session. And somewhere in there, I got to cook Sunday dinner, and I'm launching a new program that starts on Tuesday, so I got to get the curriculum together for that. So, lots going on. But I did want to stop by and talk a little bit about how to put together your media pitch for your book. You know, a lot of people, it's one of those things, you know, like media can be very mystifying for lack of a better word, and it's a challenge. I mean, you definitely have to have a strategy, you have to have a formula. I train a lot on that. That's, you know, and we really specialize in authors because that's really what I have a passion for. But of course I work with anybody else. Thank you, T, for sharing. I appreciate that. And so this is just basically the formula, so you can just get this knocked out. Hey Vincent, good to see you. Watching from Kenya. Oh, awesome. Thank you. And then also I put a link. Hey, darling, Mr. Couture, how are you? Also, I put a link in the post part for a free ebook on growing your author platform. So I talked about that yesterday, and so many people asked me to repost the link that I'm doing it now. Hey, Cynthia. I look like who? Mecca? Who's Mecca? And so the website link for that is ebook on platform, bit.ly/ebook on platform. So you can definitely grab that. And it also will tell you about a webinar that I'm doing in 2 weeks on how to become a best-selling author using 10 easy steps. So you can also get the ebook for free, and then you can sign up for the webinar, and then you'll be all set. See, easy peasy. So, but today, like I said, we're talking about your media pitch and what you need to exactly put in it so that when you pitch it to the media outlets, your book, it will get the attention that it deserves. Hey, Nathaniel, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, Ben. So the first thing you want to do is you want to open with 2 to 3 sentences. You want to talk about who you are, other books, and what you want from the person you are contacting. So sometimes people will send, you know, when I was a producer, I would get, you know, emails. Some people wanted you to review the book. Some people wanted you just to have a copy. Some people. So if you're asking for an interview, you need to be very clear on that. Or, you know, because sometimes people would want to be a guest blogger on the website. So there are different reasons you can contact a media outlet. So you just need to be very clear about why you're reaching out to them. And then you need to be very clear about the value that whatever you're doing is going to bring to the outlet. And this really is the most crucial part. So, and I'll say it till the day I die because people really need to get this, and hopefully that'll be a really long time, but people really need to get this. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. Thank you for all the love. If you haven't shared it, take a minute to share it. I would really be appreciative of that. you have to tell the value. So the value really is not that you wrote a book. The value is whatever education, information, entertainment that you are going to provide the audience with, whether it's the listening audience, whether it's a viewing audience, whether it's the reading audience. You need to expose that value, because as a media outlet, it is really not our responsibility to sell your book. It's just not. That's not what we're interested in. We're interested in whatever the value is that is in that book. So if you're, wrote a book on, top 10 ways, you can become a millionaire in 2017. That's the value, not the fact that you actually have a book that says that, but that you can share some of the ways. And so a good pitch for that would be like, I can help your listeners become a millionaire. I'm going to share 3 tips on how they can do that this year. And, oh, by the way, I have a book that has all 10 of them. And so we already know that you are going to give this value to our listening audience. And just the fact that you then had, oh, okay, Kevin, perfect. And then just the fact that you have a book that has 7 more steps is going to encourage the listener to buy it, or the viewer to buy it, or the reader to buy it. So know that you are going to get book sales, whether or not you say buy my book or not. You're going to get book sales if you can expose the value in the book. So you just want to be very careful that right away you let them know, this is how I'm going to help your audience. I'm going to help them, find a relationship. I'm going to help them manage their money. I'm going to help them get healthier, whatever it may be, so that they know 10 ways to romance women. Hey, it works. I did an interview, and and it's interesting because some of the most, the best interviews come from controversial subjects. So I interviewed Stephen James Dixon on I do a radio segment on Fridays on the Al Rucker Show, and I interviewed Stephen James Dixon, whose book is Men Don't Heal, We Hoe. And so just the title alone starts conversation. And so, the whole conversation, the value was discussing the difference between how women heal and how men heal. And then, oh, by the way, I have a book that really goes into depth and can help you. And his claim is that he can, save all relationships. And, but it's just great conversation. So right away, you want to expose the value that you bring via your book, via your business, via, your brand, whatever it is. We're talking specifically about, authors right now, but you have to expose the value and not push for the sale of the book. We would do interviews with authors, and every other sentence they would be, buy my book. Then they talk, buy my book. And that person will not be invited back for another interview, because it's not about selling the book. It's about, like I said, the value that what you know and what's contained within the book can help the audience. So type in the chat box if you got that, just say I got it. I just have to make sure that everybody gets it. So if you got it, say you got it. The next thing you want to do is, talk about, and you might want to even give them even more bullet points that supports that value. So bullet points, thank you, Mary. Thank you, Mary. Bullet points about why your book or platform is relevant, compelling, and timely. And this just supports the value that you exposed. Thank you, Roxanne. Thank you, Haywood. That this just exposes the value that you talked about in the first part of it. All right. And then you want to talk about, and this doesn't have to be long. This is 1 to 2 sentences about why you are the credible person to discuss this. So like for me, if I was pitching some kind of interview on media training and how that can help you, how that will help you position yourself as an expert, and how that will help, build your bottom line to your company. The value is I can help you make more money. That's the value. And then I'll give 2 to 3 reasons why that's important. But we all want to make more money, right? And then why am I the person to teach you about media training? Well, I've had 20 years in the media business, and I've seen some of the best pitches, and I've seen some of the worst pitches. So I know how to pitch media outlets. That's my credibility. That's what makes me the credible person to do this. So you have to talk about that. You want to make sure that at the very end you have a bio. We don't put any attachments. When you're emailing the media outlet, we don't use any attachments because we don't open attachments because there's, you know, too many viruses and all that kind of stuff. So you can either, you know, put your bio really quickly, or you can put a link to your bio so that they can read more about you. And then you want to make sure that when you close, and this is very important because people don't do it all the time, you want to make sure that you include ways for the media to contact you. So you want to make sure you include your website so that the producer or journalist or host can go and check out your website. You want to use your social media links so that they can look at your social media links. You want to include a phone number in case they want to call you. I wouldn't call you, but in case they want to call you, they will. A lot of times, you know, we'll do a lot by email, or like I said earlier, sometimes, you know, print operations or print outlets. Hey, K. Cole 832, welcome to Periscope. It's your first day. Congratulations. A lot of times print outlets will write an article just based on your pitch or just based on your press release, more so on your press release than your pitch. But you do want to make sure that you include your contact information in case somebody has a question, in case they need more clarification, or if they want to book you, you want to make sure that they can get in touch with you. And then you want to make sure that you answer your phone, whether you recognize the phone number or not. You can't pitch the media and then be scared to answer the phone because you don't know who it's going to be. So say that too. I want to say that too, because if you get a reputation with a producer of not being reachable, then you will not be asked to do an interview. It's just that simple. I mean, you have to be able to be reached, even if it's just for a question, because then it'll make the producer nervous. If they can't reach you just for a question, they may not be able to reach you on the day of the interview too. So you want to make sure that you're reachable at all times. And I say, you know, put enough communication information so we not only can we contact you, but we also do our research. So we are going to look at your website. We are going to look at your social media outlets. We want to make sure that not only, you know, do you have a professional footprint on social media, but also that, you know, you're engaging your audience. You have an audience. Make sure you have an audience, that you're engaging your audience. And so it's important to us because we know, like when I was with Tom, you know, I was very clear, like, I'm about to hand you 8 million listeners. That's what I do when I give you an interview. I'm about to hand you 8 million listeners. What are you going to hand us? And so clearly you don't need 8 million, but we need to know that you have a platform that you're engaged with, so the possibility of adding to our platform is there. So that's, you know, that's why I talked about the author platform yesterday in depth. It's really, really important. So if you want to get the book, it's bit.ly/ebook on platform. Get it and make sure that you're together so that when you do pitch media outlets, and this is not just as an author, but as anybody, as a business owner, as a brand, as, you know, a community activist, whatever it may be, that when you do pitch the media, that you have a platform that encourages them to say yes. So that's really important. So that's it. I'm going to go get ready for my accelerated session that is going to be 3 hours. So I got to prepare myself mentally for that. But I hope this has been helpful, and I appreciate everybody for logging on, and I appreciate all the shares and the hearts. And I wish you a happy Sunday. Mary and I might pop back on when she's over here later. And we're taking a break from work and being silly. So we'll see. So see you guys. Have a great day. You're welcome, Derek. I'm glad it was helpful. And I will talk to you later. Bye, Paul.